He did the final Black Sabbath show. This is it. All four original guys. He died 2 weeks later? That's insane, man.
People believed Ozzy Osbourne's wild days were over, with his past locked away inside a house full of music and old memories. But when the FBI showed up at his home, it wasn't for something small. They were looking for something hidden, something no one was ever meant to find. The agents came with a clear goal, and what they found left even them frozen. What was hidden in Ozzy's mansion that shocked the FBI and will also leave you in shock? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. The discovery found in Ozzy Osbourne's mansion. Ozzy Osbourne has made a lot of money in his life. He is one of the most famous rock stars in the world. As of the year 2024, it is said that Ozzy is worth around $220 million. That's a very big number. Most of this money came from his music. He was the lead singer of the heavy metal band Black Sabbath, and he also had a big solo career on his own. Together, from both his band and his solo work, Ozzy has sold more than 100 million albums around the world. He made a lot of money as a result. Blizzard of Oz, his solo album, was one of his greatest hits. Millions of copies were sold of that album. It also featured the popular song Crazy Train, which went on to become one of Ozzy's most well-known compositions. However, Ozzy earned money in ways other than music. He and his family hosted a reality TV program called The Osbournes in the early 2000s. The show was hugely successful and profitable. Each member of the family made roughly $5 million in the second season of the show, totaling $20 million for the entire family. Ozzy also created a music festival called Ozzfest. The first Ozzfest was held in 1996. Over time, the festival became very big and brought in lots of money. By 2004, Ozzfest had made over $100 million and sold more than 5 million tickets. Ozzy also made money by selling clothes, items, and collectibles with his name or face on them. These things brought in about $50 million. Big companies like Guitar Hero and Samsung also paid Ozzy to work with them. Ozzy and his wife Sharon spent some of their money on houses. They once bought a big home in Beverly Hills for $10 million. Later, they bought another large house in Los Angeles in a nice area called Hancock Park. That home was very old and special. They fixed it up and later put it up for sale for $18 million. They also own a beautiful countryside home in England, in a place called Buckinghamshire. Ozzy and Sharon have said they want to move back to England because they don't like the way things are going in the United States. Ozzy also loves cars. He has owned some very expensive and fast cars over the years. One of his favorites is the Lamborghini Diablo, which is a very fast and flashy sports car. He has also had a Rolls-Royce Phantom, which is a fancy and classic British car. Another car in his collection is the Ferrari F40, which is one of the most loved sports cars in the world. Besides cars, Ozzy also loves motorcycles. He had a custom-made chopper with a cross-shaped gas tank and an alligator skin seat. He also once rode a Yamaha Banshee quad bike, but he crashed it in 2003 and got hurt very badly. Even though Ozzy is known for being wild on stage, he also has some quiet hobbies. He enjoys gardening, and it helps him relax. He likes collecting art, especially modern art. He and Sharon love spending time in the English countryside. Ozzy also enjoys watching horror movies like The Exorcist and shows like The Walking Dead. He wears a lot of black clothes, leather jackets, and round sunglasses. He loves roast dinners and shepherd's pie. He also loves animals and had a small dog named Rocky, who passed away after 15 years. But Ozzy has had some health problems in recent years. He was told he had Parkinson's disease, which makes it hard for him to move. He also hurt his back in a fall in 2019 and had to go through many spine surgeries. In 2023, he said he had what he hopes will be his last surgery. Even with these problems, Ozzy keeps going. He stays strong, spends time with his family, and still connects with his fans. After his death, there have been quiet whispers spreading online that the FBI may have uncovered something shocking inside Ozzy Osbourne's mansion, though no official report has confirmed it. Some fans speculate it could be tied to old music industry secrets, while others believe it might involve something far more personal and unexpected. With all the fame and money Ozzy had, did anyone truly know the pain he was hiding behind the spotlight? Stay tuned for more. The dark struggles behind the Prince of Darkness. Ozzy Osbourne is a famous rock star known all over the world. People call him the Prince of Darkness, and he helped create heavy metal music. But behind the fame and loud music is a man who has gone through a lot of pain and sadness. From growing up poor to battling pills and later facing serious health problems, Ozzy's life hasn't been easy at all. Ozzy was born on December 3, 1948, in Birmingham, England. He lived with his parents and 5 siblings in a small house. The home was crowded, and they didn't even have an indoor toilet. Life was tough, and money was tight. As a child, Ozzy had learning problems like dyslexia. This made school hard for him, and he was often bullied by other kids. He also had a strong Birmingham accent, which some people made fun of. When he was just 11 years old, Ozzy was attacked by bullies near his school. The trauma from that time stayed with him for the rest of his life. He didn't tell anyone back then, but later said it completely messed him up. He always told his own kids to speak up if something was wrong, because he didn't want them to carry pain the way he did. By age 14, Ozzy started using alcohol and pills to cope with his dark thoughts. He said his mind was full of pain and sadness. One night, he tried to take his own life, but his father came home just in time to save him. That moment could have been the end, but he survived. Ozzy left school at 15 and worked different jobs at factories, construction sites, and even in a slaughterhouse. None of the jobs made him happy. At 17, he tried to steal clothes from a shop, got caught, and was sent to prison for 6 weeks. He later said that being locked up with grown men made him realize he didn't want to live that kind of life. In 1968, Ozzy got a chance to follow his dream when he joined a band called Black Sabbath. The band became huge, and people loved their music. But behind the scenes, the group had problems with harmful substance and alcohol use. In 1979, the band fired Ozzy because his behavior had become too difficult. He felt hurt and said he wasn't the only one using pills. After being kicked out, Ozzy started a solo career. He released Blizzard of Oz in 1980, and it was a big hit. He worked closely with guitarist Randy Rhoads, and the two became close friends. But in 1982, Randy died in a plane crash while on tour. Ozzy was heartbroken and said that moment stayed in his mind forever. Over the years, Ozzy kept struggling with addiction. He used many kinds of pills and often mixed them with alcohol. He later learned that his body had rare genes that made him handle pills differently. Still, he knew the damage was real. In 2006, he started recovery and worked to turn his life around. His shows were known for wild energy, but sometimes things went wrong. In 1986, a fan died during one of his concerts. There were also injuries and arrests that night. For Ozzy, it was another reminder that his life wasn't just music and fame. It was also full of sadness and loss. Ozzy's personal life also had many problems. He admitted he was a bad husband to his first wife, Thelma Riley. He drank too much, used pills, and cheated. Later, while married to Sharon Osbourne, things got worse. In 1989, while on pills, he tried to hurt her. He was arrested and later shocked when he learned what he had done. Sharon said she would have shot him if she had a gun. Even after that, Ozzy continued to cheat. Sharon found out when he sent her a message meant for another woman. She was heartbroken. He later got help, and they chose to stay together, though things were never the same. In 2003, Ozzy nearly died in a quad bike accident. He broke bones and had to be revived twice. He spent 8 days in a coma. Around the same time, Sharon was fighting cancer. Their kids also had problems with harmful substance use, but later got clean. In 2020, Ozzy shared that he had Parkinson's disease. He had also suffered a bad fall that made his pain worse. He said it felt like he was hit with a flash of light and thought he was paralyzed. After years of pain, in February 2023, Ozzy announced he was retiring from touring. It was one of the hardest decisions of his life. Through all the fame and success, Ozzy Osbourne's life has been full of pain, loss, and survival. He's a legend in music, but also a man who fought many dark battles and lived to tell the story. After everything Ozzy had lost and the dark moments he faced, how did love ever find its way into his life? Especially with someone like Sharon. Let's delve deeper. The unexpected bond between Sharon and Ozzy. Sharon Osbourne first met Ozzy Osbourne when she was just 18 years old. At the time, Ozzy had come into her father's office to talk about management for his band, Black Sabbath. Sharon said it was not love at first sight. In fact, her first thoughts were far from romantic. She looked at the band and thought they looked very odd. They were hairy and rough-looking, very different from the American artists she was used to seeing, who were always well-dressed, smelled nice, and acted polished. She recalled feeling uneasy in their presence. She wasn't accustomed to working with musicians like them. They were from the north of England and carried themselves in a very different manner. However, that same night, she saw Black Sabbath perform live for the first time, and something changed. She was utterly astounded by what she saw when she and her father attended the show. She was deeply affected by the performance because it was so intense and electrifying. She was drawn to it, even though it was a different kind of music than what she was used to. That moment was when she first started becoming interested in the band and in Ozzy. When asked how things got serious between her and Ozzy, Sharon explained that it wasn't until 1980 that they began dating. They had already been working together since 1979, and their relationship slowly shifted from business to something more personal. She admitted it wasn't instant attraction, but over time, she was pulled in by Ozzy's personality. What stood out to her was how funny and quick-witted he was, but also how vulnerable and open he seemed. That mix of humor and softness made her feel something special. She called him the sweetest and funniest man she had ever met. When they got married, life was not easy. Their relationship had many struggles from the beginning. One big issue was that Ozzy was already married and had 2 children at the time. After Ozzy's first wife divorced him, Sharon said she understood the reason. It wasn't because of her, but because Ozzy had a serious drinking problem. His first wife couldn't handle it anymore. Sharon said if she had been in her shoes, she probably would have made the same decision. At the same time, Sharon was having her own problems. She had broken away from her father in terms of business. This caused a major problem because her father had set up all his companies, tax documents, and contracts under Sharon's name. She thought it was a sign that he trusted her, but later realized it was a big mistake. When bills went unpaid or when taxes were owed, It was Sharon who was held responsible, not her father. In one example, the tax authorities came to her house and put yellow tape around it, showing that she was in serious trouble. She explained that her father did this so he could travel the world and avoid responsibility, while she had to face the legal and financial mess he left behind. It was a very difficult time for her. So when she and Ozzy started their life together, they both had nothing. Sharon was being chased by debts and lawsuits, and Ozzy had lost everything in his divorce. They were starting their relationship at rock bottom, with no money and a lot of baggage from their pasts. Still, despite the hard beginnings, the connection between them continued to grow stronger. Sharon's loyalty to Ozzy and his unique charm kept them together through all the ups and downs. After everything he's been through, both the dark days and the spotlight, how did Ozzy Osbourne rise to become one of the most unforgettable figures in rock history? Let's find out. The rise and wild ride of Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne has lived a wild and unforgettable life. His world was full of music, crazy moments, deep struggles, and endless love from fans. People know him for his long career in rock and roll, and through the years, he faced both good times and painful ones. When Ozzy talks about himself, he puts it simply, "I'm just Ozzy Osbourne, and I always will be." But that short sentence doesn't fully show how big of a star he became in music and pop culture. Over more than 40 years, Ozzy says it feels like he has lived 3 different lives. And honestly, he's not wrong. Ozzy didn't just become another famous singer. He helped shape what heavy metal sounds like. With 13 solo albums and an unforgettable stage presence, Ozzy played a huge part in creating the metal music world. From day one, Ozzy loved spooky themes and scary stories, which he brought into his music. He once said that being able to bring his childhood love of horror movies onto the stage was like a dream come true. One of the craziest stories in Ozzy's career happened when he bit the head off a bat on stage. He thought someone had thrown a rubber toy bat at him, but it turned out to be real. Ozzy later said it was a huge mistake, and he had to get painful rabies shots afterward. That wild moment, along with another one where he bit a dove's head off at a record company meeting, added to his shocking image. But Ozzy said those things weren't planned. He wasn't trying to make headlines, he was just under the influence and didn't always think straight. Ozzy has always been open about his problems with pills and alcohol. He admitted that many of the worst things that happened in his life were because of addiction. He once said, "When I'm sober, I don't walk into CBS Records and bite the head off a dove." He even went to the famous Betty Ford Rehab Center, but said he relapsed afterward. He explained how hard it was to get back to a normal life after rehab. He didn't want to be around people or face the world. Behind the fame and growing love story, what personal struggles were Sharon and Ozzy hiding from the world? Let's learn more. Love, loss, and the man behind the madness. Ozzy was frequently portrayed by the media as being even more crazy than he actually was. There was a man who cared about people beneath all the headlines. He made mistakes, but he tried to be kind. He formally retired from touring in 2023. He said he had spent nearly 50 years on the road and missed out on a lot, like watching his kids grow up. Now that he has grandkids, he just wanted to be around family more. Ozzy's impact wasn't just in music. He also became a reality TV star thanks to the Osbournes. The show gave fans a close look at his family life. Alongside his wife Sharon and their kids, Kelly and Jack, Ozzy let people see the real him at home. The show was new and bold for its time. No other rock star had ever opened up their home to the public like that. It ran for 4 seasons and introduced Ozzy to a whole new group of fans. Through everything, Sharon Osbourne was always by his side. Ozzy said she was more than his wife. She was his teammate and soulmate. Sharon also once said that being without him was unthinkable. Their love and strong bond helped carry them through all the hard times. No matter what, they faced it together. Still, Ozzy says the biggest love of his life has always been his fans. He once shared, "My audience is better than any pills, alcohol, sex, woman, or relationship. It's the best love I've had in my life." That love is what pushed him to keep going, no matter how hard things got. As long as fans wanted to see him, and he still had the strength, he would get back on stage. Ozzy Osbourne's story is one of wild moments, tough fights, and deep love from those who followed him. He may call himself just Ozzy, but to millions of people, he will always be a true legend. What do you think about what was found at the mansion of Ozzy Osbourne? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.